Now let's take a look at 3PL, or third-party logistics. What we're going to cover is a quick introduction to 3PL, and then how 3PL works with Brightpearl. There are separate videos that are well worth watching, an introduction to using multiple warehouses, how to transfer inventory between warehouses, and then finally working with Amazon FBA, which is a type of 3PL. So what is third-party logistics? It's sometimes referred to as outsourced warehousing and logistics, and essentially it means that a separate company carries your inventory. It can either be only some of your inventory or perhaps all of it. Typically these warehousing companies have a large number of customers, which means they get preferential rates with the carriers, which are then passed on to you. If the 3PL is managing all of your inventory, you don't have the overheads of managing your own warehouse, and you can spend the same time on marketing and growing your business. Now let's see how 3PL works with Brightpearl. The first step is getting goods to our customers, which is what we call the goods out process. First of all, the customer places an order. That order is then downloaded or typed directly into Brightpearl, and then what you do in Brightpearl is fulfill that order to create a shipment, which is sometimes called a goods out note. And this shipment information is what we transfer across to the 3PL warehouse, and that can be done in a number of different ways. We can either send them a PDF or a CSV file. I'll show you how to do that in a second. The 3PL then ships the items to the customer. They get a tracking reference from the carrier, which you probably want to enter into Brightpearl. And then when the goods actually leave the 3PL warehouse, the goods note needs to be marked as shipped in Brightpearl so that your Brightpearl systems are also up to date. So here we have a new sale in Brightpearl. Let's go ahead and fulfill it. We'll fulfill and ship later, which creates a goods out note. We'll then open up the goods out note, where we can either export it as a CSV using the button on the right hand side, or we can email it to our 3PL. So pop their email address in here, add a message if you want to. We recommend sending as a PDF and then sending the email. You'll see that the email subject here actually has a reference in it, and that's the order ID and then the goods out note sequence. So this is the first shipment for that particular order. To see that reference in the email subject, simply edit the template for the packing note using the order ref widget. The warehousing company will then receive an email with the packing note attached as a PDF and also as a CSV file. The CSV file is a fixed format, and you can get the format from our documentation. The 3PL company would either import this into their system or enter it manually. Currently there's no way to export batches of CSVs from Brightpearl, so you'd have to do them one at a time or send them by email as I've just shown you. The other option is integrating the Brightpearl system with your third-party warehouse system automatically over API, so that as soon as a shipment is created in Brightpearl, it appears in the 3PL system. And then similarly, when the 3PL system picks, packs and ships it, that shipment information is transferred automatically back into Brightpearl. We've written a white paper that shows you how to do this, and have a look on Google for integrating a third-party warehouse with Brightpearl. If you're not building an automatic integration, then what you'll need to do when your warehouse sends you shipment information is add that manually into Brightpearl and mark the goods out notes as shipped at the end of each day. You can do this either in bulk from the goods out note list or one at a time from the goods out note screen. To add tracking information, hit Pack, paste your tracking data in, and here's where you can also send an email or an SMS to the customer. Mark it as packed, and then mark it as shipped to remove all inventory. You'll notice that we've skipped the print and the pick stage. What a lot of people do is they actually use the print stage to record the goods out note as having been sent to the 3PL. You then skip the pick stage because you're not picking from your own warehouse. Another essential part of working with 3PL is how goods get into their warehouse. You'll be placing purchase orders in Brightpearl in the normal way. Send them over to your supplier, but make sure that the delivery address is set to be for your 3PL. And what we'd recommend here is that you actually create a separate warehouse in Brightpearl to represent your 3PL. You can then choose that warehouse when you're creating the purchase order, and that warehouse can have an address associated with it. The goods on the purchase order then arrive at the third-party warehouse and they check them into stock. What they'll do is they'll then notify you that inventory has arrived, and what you have to do is then update Brightpearl. Due to the very different ways in which suppliers send goods, perhaps matching your purchase order, perhaps not matching your purchase order, This step of updating Brightpearl to increase your inventory levels is best done manually, generally from an email that they've sent you. In an ideal world, the 3PL will also use your purchase order ID so you can see which PO to record the goods against. And then the final part of 3PL is stock checks and corrections. The 3PL warehouse will periodically be doing a stock take, and what they will then do is they'll send you corrected inventory levels. What you then need to do is make the corrections in Brightpearl as you see fit. And don't forget that if you're also using Brightpearl for accounting, then any change to inventory levels is also going to make changes on your profit and loss and balance sheet. So a quick recap of what we've covered. Firstly, create a Brightpearl warehouse to represent your 3PL. Place purchase orders as normal, and then the supplier ships them to your 3PL warehouse. When you receive a notification from the 3PL, manually mark the inventory as received in Brightpearl. And then for the sales side of things, fulfill sales orders as normal from your 3PL warehouse, transfer the goods out note information to the 3PL either by PDF, CSV or integrating using the Brightpearl API, and then when you receive shipping notification from the 3PL, mark the Brightpearl goods out notes as shipped. If you've connected Brightpearl to online sales channels such as eBay, Amazon or your own e-commerce store, that's the point at which Brightpearl will update them. And that concludes the video where we see how Brightpearl works with 3PL.